Hello and welcome everyone. I am Deepali Khetrapal, an NLP practitioner. I am here to discuss with you certain core values which may seem small but play an important role in achieving success in life. Do hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss upcoming episodes. So, we will be discussing the meaning of these values through various examples and stories and how we can imbibe these values and make them a part of our life.
What is self-reliance? Self-reliance is trusting your abilities to get through the challenges of life on the back of your own resourcefulness. It refers to your ability to provide for yourself without the need for outside help. Of course, this definition of self-reliance is broad, with the meaning varying from person to person, and the importance of self-reliance will vary dramatically from one person to the next. Being self-reliant allows you to survive the harshest of winters and the most brutal of summers. It gives you a sense of agency over yourself and your decisions. And while it isn't an excuse to never seek help from others, it means you are no longer at the whim and mercy of those who may have other plans for you. In practice, self-reliance can look like any number of things. Being able to depend on yourself to meet your basic needs and the needs of your spouse, children, and other family members, if this falls on you, is one of the greatest feelings in the world. And doing so ethically is even more essential. Here are some more self-reliant examples in practice. Learning to tie your shoelaces, getting a driver's license, choosing to live within your means, learning how to make a fire without matches or a lighter, getting comfortable sleeping outside. Self-reliance is all that it sounds like, plus considerably more. So it's not about doing everything yourself. It's not about being financially independent either. And it's not about shouldering every hardship you face all on your lonesome. Let's understand with an example. There's a girl, Bella, whose parents are both lawyers. They want nothing more than for Bella to follow in their footsteps and are encouraged by her excellent grades at school. At home, however, Bella finds that she's spending every spare minute writing poetry. She wants to make a difference to the world and touch people's lives through verse. She believes that she can do it as this is where she finds her greatest happiness and decides to pursue a career as a poet instead. Basically, if you or I or anyone believe in something and consider that it holds merit, after thinking it through, there should be nothing holding us back from voicing it with confidence. Bella seeks to take steps towards achieving her own goals of becoming a poet. She is aware that she'll receive a lot more emotional and financial support by following her parents' dreams, but she is willing to take her chance. She isn't overly concerned about rejection by her parents because she just wants to be herself. It's important to remember that self-reliance is not about cutting yourself off from everybody. What it is being true to yourself, being capable of independent thought, knowing your own loves, and being able to pursue them independently of others' judgments is not the same as isolating yourself from society. Now let's discuss the importance of having self-reliance. Having self-reliance is important for several reasons. The most obvious being that depending on others for help means there will be times when it's not available. But let's dig a little deeper to understand how and why you can use this concept to flourish, grow, find, and nurture happiness. Self-reliance is also important because it means you can solve problems and make decisions by yourself. This is critical as we grow older and learn to live independently. It allows you to feel happy in yourself and about yourself without needing to rely on others. It involves developing self-acceptance, a very powerful thing to have. It involves acquiring self-knowledge and practicing self-compassion. It gives you perspective, which in turn gives you direction. Of course, the list is very far from exhaustive. If you have personally experienced or believe other important benefits from becoming self-reliant, there are many. Now the question is how to develop self-reliance. So here are some tips. Accepting yourself and being your own best friend. Learning and appreciating your own character strengths is very important in being able to support yourself as you go through life. What are your character strengths? Are you kind, curious, brave? Don't forget to reflect on your achievements and the things you accomplished that make you feel proud. It's important not to put yourself down or sabotage your own efforts. Inner confidence. In society, we are conditioned to feel happy when we receive compliments, praise, and reassurance from others. If that's not forthcoming, we can feel insecure or vulnerable, sometimes even helpless. Being self-reliant involves the ability to feel confident in yourself when these aren't around, because they may not always be. Making our own decisions. Instead of looking consistently outside for security and relying on others to accept us for who we are, we can accept ourselves as unique and practice non-judgment. We can find security from inner sources. As children, we learn to look to others for guidance when solving problems or making decisions. The tendency becomes ingrained within us, and as adults, we aren't always capable of handling adversity in a way that we feel sure about. Have confidence in your own capabilities, and it becomes a lot easier to find security within. Recognize and manage dependence. Becoming aware of when you tend to turn to others is a part of self-knowledge. We may know that we turn to others for certain things, but sometimes this means we're missing out on a chance to build up our own confidence. Setting goals and achieving them your own way not only gives you a sense of accomplishment and reward, but greater belief in your own judgment. Accept yourself for who you are. Self-acceptance is a huge thing. Instead of looking to others for approval, it's alright to give that approval yourself. Seeking others' acceptance is yet another way that we practice dependence on others, and it can be pervasive, hard to shake habit. To develop self-reliance, we need to notice these tendencies before we can change them, but it's worth it. Having your own values. Society's values may not be aligned with our own deep-rooted beliefs. This can be at such a subconscious level that we don't always pick up on it. If society values one thing and it's not congruent with our own, we can feel as though it's hard to gain acceptance. Not relying on things to feel happiness. We should not rely on material possessions. As we're living in materialistic times, life is constantly changing. So if we tie our happiness to external objects, what happens when they're gone? Decide who you want to be and how you want to get there. Pretty much this is almost the same as having your own values, except that once we know our own values, we can understand what makes us happy and how we would like to live our lives. Then we exercise our own judgment about how we want to get there. Arguably, these aren't the only ways we can develop self-reliance. It's also true that children will often need much simpler approaches to learn that can often start at a more practical level. Learning to tie one's shoelaces, take on little jobs, and so forth. Today we've thought about what it means to be self-reliant. If you wondered why the idea is so important, hopefully you'll find some of what we've considered to be of use. The idea of independent thought and using your own beliefs to guide you. You can develop self-reliance by learning to be yourself, practicing making your own judgments, and holding your own values. As you use these to guide you towards your goals, remember not to underestimate the power of your own intuition. Don't be afraid to be yourself. This is your friend Deepali Khetrapal signing off. Stay tuned, keep smiling, God bless.